Hi, I'm going to be doing a breakdown on my Ender Dragon fight because during the main video I was focusing more on the preparation and just safe tips that you can have to defeat the Ender Dragon and was less focused on the actual fight itself. So here I'm going to break down everything I do and all of the choices that I make that made this such a successful end fight. There will also be a full uncut version of this fight at the end of this video, so that way if you don't want to have to listen to me explain the whole thing, you can just watch through it. The first thing that's notable are the items on my hotbar as I enter the portal. You'll notice that I have the basic essential weapons and tools, but I also have building blocks, water bucket, and some ender pearls. As I explained before, these are both ways of preventing death as we get knocked off of the obsidian platform at the start, because sometimes the dragon can spawn right there and sometimes it will swoop right down and kill you. Another thing that you can do to be a lot more safe is if you have enough slow falling potions, you can drink one before you go in. That way if the dragon happens to knock you super high up right away, you can pretty easily pearl back on the island or control yourself back with your movement controls. Sorry for the choppy frames right there. It seems that my encoder was set a little high to be loading in an entire new dimension. That glance over to the island was me going to check on the dragon's position, and I saw that it wasn't even within my render distance, so I felt safe just bridging the rest of the way. I go into third person here to look at the crystals, and the reason for that is the eye level that it takes into account for you staring at an Enderman is purely based on your crosshair, so I'm able to see higher up in the sky while in third person, and I don't have as high a risk of accidentally looking at an Enderman. I'd recommend, if you're not that good a player, or if you're just a crap aim like me, if at all possible, you should get an infinity bow before you go into the end. It's unbelievably useful, and there's nothing more frustrating having to fight the Ender Dragon having run out of arrows, and it just won't land and you can't hit anything because you're out of arrows. I've only just looked back on this part now and realized what an embarrassing number of misses I make, so ignore this section of the video, don't watch that, black out your screen, close your eyes, get your brother to come in and kick your head off, I don't care what it takes, just don't watch it. If you'll notice, as I'm towering up here, I take a couple looks around as I'm building up to keep tabs on the dragon. I don't do this very well, if you may notice, as it's not even in my vision any of the times I look, I don't think. But luckily, I didn't get killed by it, and we managed to take out this crystal. You'll notice here that I hit the side of the block, which is what I warned against doing when you enter the end island. The consequences here are less dire since I'd just be taking some fall damage and I definitely wouldn't die from that fall. But it's always better to keep as much health as possible, so you'll see that as I'm falling I pearl down, which negates my fall damage. At this part, she managed to make it down to the portal before I did, and so to safely enter, I just pearled inside, and that way I wouldn't get hit by any of her attacks as she's thrashing around. You'll also notice that I don't go for the beds yet, and that's because I can't get up high enough to place down the beds without her just knocking me up way into the air, killing me. Here I start to set up the bed strategy, but as I am setting up the places for me to stand, she shoots a fireball at me, which makes me realize, oh, well, I don't want this area to be inaccessible when I could be doing damage, and so I run away so she won't shoot any more fireballs at that area, because they linger, and I can't place enough beds to kill her if I'm taking constant damage. Lucky me, she lands extremely early again, and I can begin placing bets to do damage. Ideally, you want to get the dragon as low down as possible, just as it's turning with its head over the pillow, to get this with the maximum damage. But on my third bet, I messed up the timing. I let her get in just a little bit too close, and she was able to send me flying up into the air, and I wasn't able to get as much damage as I would have liked. I still got plenty though, and you'll notice that it's enough that I can finish off the rest of this fight with just my sword and a bow. Overall, this dragon fight took me a little under 6 minutes. It's actually better than my PB speedrun time, but of course, this is an ideal end fight. Just remember that in this scenario, you're going to have basically everything that you need to beat the Ender Dragon compared to a speedrun where you're going to have very limited resources. So that's the end of my breakdown segment. Hopefully that was either educational or entertaining, depending on what you look for in this video. But without further ado, here is the full uncut fight.